Here we are. When you feed people the truth, you don't know how they're gonna react. Scared of the wrong Jews. People that are just ignorant and scared of the truth. We're patient for now. Is there a person who has not heard the song Patience by Nas and Damien Mali? One of the best rap songs ever. Like everything about it is dope. We are patient for now. But should we be patient? Ever desperately wanted to know something and you don't know how to know it? I used to think that my biggest trauma in life is being misunderstood. I mean, growing up, I was so misunderstood. I mean, you can imagine. Like, if you pay attention to how I think, obviously, you know that people didn't understand me when I was growing up. But I realized that that's not really my biggest trauma. My biggest trauma is being completely right and knowing beyond any reasonable doubt that I'm right, and people not being able to understand that. I know this sounds bad because you'll be like, okay, what if you're wrong and you think that you're right? But I think some people in this world are that authentic. Like, you can be so damn authentic that you are able to see the truth. And I think that's one of the rarest abilities in this world. I've watched many videos on YouTube. I've checked so many posts on Facebook. I realized that people lack what I call real authenticity. Let me define authenticity for you. To me, authenticity is the ability to reach your highest truth. It's not you being delusional and justifying your delusion and you call it authenticity. Like, this is who I am, this is what I believe. It's like, no, your ability to access your highest truth. That's authenticity. I don't think many people in this world are able to do that. You could tell them something that is true and they don't get it. We're not talking about things that are knowable right now. We're talking about things that are so easy to understand. Like 1 + 1 is 2. You tell them something that is as simple as 1 + 1 being 2, and they still don't understand you. They still don't agree with you. That's my biggest trauma. Is saying something so truthful that I don't believe that there's a person that will not be able to understand it, and they still don't understand it. And I'll be like, what the fuck? How? This is obvious. This is true. Growing up, I was so ahead of my time. I remember giving you this example. That when we were kids, we grew up in a village. We grew up in a village. We didn't have TVs. You find out there's only there's only one house where they have a TV. So all the kids will go and watch movies there. So we'd watch fake wrestling, whatever you want to call it. First day when I started watching wrestling, I knew it was staged. And I'll tell the other kids and they would not be like, that shit is fucking stressful, bro. You're like, how are you not able to see that it is staged? Like, how? I mean, everything points to it being staged. Like, it's simple to see that. Like, how could... And this is something that to also tell you something about the hell realm. I've been talking about this synchronicity, right? When you watch WWE, you realize the synchronicities are a bit too convenient. You find that someone is on the mic, they're talking. As soon as they say something, then they play the song of someone, and you find that okay, that person came at the right time. Like there was never a best moment for that person to show up. Like, oh, no, it's just random. It's not random. Obviously, it's they plan everything. The way that they fight, you can see that they allow themselves to get hit. Obviously, like I would be able to see that, and other kids will not be able to see that. Even the adults. I remember one like this fucking traumatized me, man. So this guy was much older than us. We were watching wrestling, and I was debating with the other kids, saying, "No, it's staged." Like, no, it's not staged. Like all of them were saying that it's not staged, and I hate it because now that we're older, I've had a conversation with them, and they're yeah, it is staged. It's staged. I was like, yeah, but I was telling y'all that it's staged. I told y'all that it was staged the first day, and you motherfuckers traumatized me with your ignorance. But yeah, this other adult, I mean, no, it was not really an adult, but okay, maybe I was 8 or 9 when we started like watching. No, I was much younger than that. But yeah, he was much older than us. Maybe he was 16, 17. He ended up kicking me out because he was older. I couldn't fight him because I was telling them that it was fake, and he didn't believe that. So it would surprise me, like how is it that people are not able to see simple truth? Like there's nothing wrong with it being staged. It's very entertaining. Like those people are real. Like they are very talented. You look at someone like John Cena, very talented, very very talented wrestler. Look at someone like Dwayne Johnson. I know people hate him because of his ego. Nigga has a big ego, but we can't say dude is not talented. Like he's one of the most talented wrestlers like ever. Dude is that talented. You know, you look at someone like CM Punk, like very good on the mic. Like there's great talent. It's not like everyone can do that. You look at Logan Paul. He's new, but you can see that he's catching on. Like he's becoming very good at it. You know, you look at Rey Mysterio's son. Like he has charisma. People like him. So it's there's talent. It's not like anyone can become a professional wrestler. Like anyone can sell tickets. No, it requires real talent. But obviously it's staged. So it surprised me that people weren't able to see that. Even like people who were older, like my grandfather, like he used to believe that it was real. I remember in 2008 he believed it was real. And I because of the trauma that I went through trying to show people that it wasn't, and I wouldn't say it. Like if now if a person says it's real, I don't say anything. I'll be like, okay, it's fine. But if I was able to see that before a lot of people were able to see that, because I don't even understand why people had to debate whether it's real or fake. Like it was obvious. Imagine all the other things that I was able to see that other people weren't able to see. So being right, but people not understanding that I'm right, that traumatized me. Authenticity to me is being able to see the truth and being able to live by it, right? You have to access the highest truth and be able to live by it. That is authenticity, meaning that you are not afraid to be what you feel you should be after reaching the highest truth. Like you don't hold back. That is authenticity. But what I've realized as I got older is that this world will gaslight you. Because it used to feel like, okay, maybe people are just stupid or they're not authentic. But as you get older, you're like, maybe this world itself gaslight people who are actually right. Because everything is inverted, right? Everything is upside down. So if you are able to see that, then the world is going to gaslight you. Like, no, you're crazy. Like if you are actually right about something, you're crazy. This reminds me of a scene from the last Matrix movie. It's one of my favorite Matrix movies. Not like a lot of things that they could have done right, they didn't do these things right. But the idea behind the movie was good. You know, if you're trying to like wake up, trying to see reality for what it is, I think that that movie is good. Like there's a lot of insights that um, you that you will gain. You know, if you watch that movie and pay attention to everything. So Neo, because he found himself trapped in another matrix without knowing it, but he'll keep on having dreams that weren't just dreams. It was memories. Kept on remembering things that happened in his previous life before he, before the what did they call that guy? I'd say the architect of the new matrix, and yeah, until the architect of the new matrix put him in that matrix. So whenever I would have these visions, the architect of the new matrix would be his shrink, and he would try to explain things in a way that made it seem normal. And that's what I see happening in this. Like you could, so like something strange could happen to you, but the explanation of it is gonna be normal. I'm gonna give you this example. So there's this video that I saw on TikTok. There was this ring thing. So it looked um, it looked like it was black. It looked like an actual ring, and it was up in the air, moving strangely. And then someone on the news explained what it was using science. Like, nah, it's not. It's nothing strange. Like that's what happens in this world. Like, you could see something that is true, but then the explanation of it is gonna be something normal. So, so Neo, whenever he was having these visions, the guy will try to make him think that it's all normal, and he just has a mental illness. So we'll be giving him these pills, giving him these pills to make him normal, so that he doesn't realize that he's in the matrix. That's what I see happening here. Like, you could be so right about something, but then the world will gaslight you and make you think that you are wrong, or there's something wrong with you for feeling the way that you feel. For an example, you could find yourself in a really bad situation, like a really bad situation, where anyone will be depressed. Like, anyone with a brain that works will be depressed, and then they make it seem like you're just mentally ill. You're like, no, if my situation was different, I wouldn't be feeling depressed at all. Like, this is depressing. This is a messed up situation that I'm in. You're just depressed. No. That sometimes people go through a lot, and they find themselves feeling depressed, not because they are mentally sick. No, because the situation that they're going through is making them depressed. You find that they're not able to do anything anymore. I remember I've read about some experiment that scientists did. They'll always be trying to do some experiment, like using animals. So using rats. So these rats, they were not giving them what they want. Right? They were not giving them what they want. Like, they put rats, like they put rats in two different places. So there will be rats that they're getting everything that they want when they want it. And then there will be these rats that were not being given what they wanted. Everything that rats want, they were not being given these things. It got to a point where they stopped eating. They were not even given the food that they wanted. So it got to a point where they stopped eating so that they could die. Because they were so depressed. They stopped doing things. They stopped like having fun. Rats sometimes would want to have fun and all that. They even stopped, and this is crazy, they even stopped procreating. I remember there's this documentary that I watched about some animals. Just I don't remember which animals they were doing a documentary on. But these animals, when they were not happy, they will not procreate. So I guess maybe if you have seen a lot in this world, you might not really want to procreate. But it doesn't mean that people do not want to procreate because of depression. It might be because they've just seen a lot and they can see that it's not best for them to be procreating, because sometimes we have to reason as humans. You can't go through hell and be like, I'm procreating. Like, what do you expect? What do you expect your child to go through? You can see that life was whooping your ass. You can see that life was whooping your ass the whole time, and you're like, I'm gonna have a kid. There's no intellectual honesty. So why? But yeah, sometimes people can find themselves in situations where it is normal for them to be depressed. But then society gaslight them. Like, your life is your life. You must appreciate what you have. I remember I saw a video on TikTok yesterday. So this guy was saying, and I wonder why videos like that trend, because what he was saying was just dumb. Like, it shows that he lacks insights. So it's like, okay, if you're driving a Corolla, there's a person who rides a bike who wish they had your car. If you have a house, there's a person who's homeless who wish you had you know how they talk, right? That who wish he had a house. If you are married, there's a person who's not married who wishes that they were married. So appreciate what you have. You cannot be miserable because there are people who want to have what you have. And you'll be like, okay, so should we be happy because some people don't have what we have? Should I measure the value of what I have based on who wants it? That's gaslighting. Because you find a person who has it all and be like, and if they're not happy, you blame them. Like, there are people who don't have what you have, but you're unhappy. Yeah, they're unhappy. No one wants to be unhappy. You have to understand that people are trying every day to be happy. People do what they do because they want to be happy. I want you to understand that people are chasing happiness, whether they know it or not. Like, people are chasing happiness, bro. They don't want to do what they do not want to do. So, if people are not happy, they can't be blamed for not being happy, as if their minds are not working properly. Maybe something is just off. Maybe something is wrong. So they shouldn't be gaslighted. You look at what you have. Your health is good, so you should be happy. It's like, yeah, maybe everyone's health should be good. Why should some people be sick? And why must I compare myself to people who are sick and be like, okay, now I should be happy because I'm not sick? Why should people be sick at all? What have they done to deserve being sick? And should I be happy that I'm not sick because some people are sick? Should I be happy that I'm not homeless because some people are homeless? But like, yeah, I'm counting my blessings. Like, no. It tells you that something is off. That would be like, and I see this mentality a lot with Christians. I remember I gave you this example. Let's just say a Christian is in a car or in a taxi, and then an accident happened. Like in South Africa, like taxis can can transport maybe 16 people. Yeah. So yeah, okay. An accident happens. A Christian does not get injured. Everyone else gets injured. They're going to thank God. Like, I survived. They don't care if maybe 8 of them died. 8 of the people that were inside the taxi died, and then the rest were injured. They don't care. It's like, I have to compare my situation with the situation of the people who were in a taxi with me. So because I made it, I must thank God. They didn't make it. I made it. They will not be ashamed to stand in front of people and talk about it. And you're like, what about the people who died? So so it shows that something is flawed. Like this, I mean, your ego is flawed. If you want to compare your life with those who are not doing well enough, you're like, I'm doing so good. Others are not doing good, so I should appreciate what I have. Look, no. This society will gaslight you, man, and it will frustrate you. But I think people being gaslighted proves that everything is inverted, everything is upside down. That proves that we are in a hell room. You know, truth is what's going to set us free. You have to understand that if we were operating on the vibration of truth as a collective, life would be fair. When we say life isn't fair, what we're basically saying is that there is no truth in how things actually operate. There's too much corruption, right? We know how things should be. We know that what goes up must come down. But let's say there's corruption. Let's say someone found a way to mess with the laws of physics. You find that sometimes when you throw something up, it doesn't come down. But you know it's supposed to come down. This is how the world works. You see people working hard and you're like, okay, of course they deserve good results and they're not getting good results. You see someone not doing anything at all and their lives are working. You're like, damn, that's crazy. If in your relationship you feel like your partner is gaslighting you, you have to let him go. You can't trust people who gaslight you. The thing with being gaslighted is that you're gonna blame yourself at first, especially if you want to be in that person's life. I shouldn't have said this, I shouldn't have said that. It'll be like if you're dating someone, right? They get a call, they receive a call, and you're like, and then they say, "Oh, I'm going somewhere," and then you're like, you know what? This person, I've this deep feeling that they're not going where they're saying they're going. Like I've seen the signs. I don't believe that they're going where they say they're going. You decided to follow them. Yeah, we can say that's some psycho shit. But let's say you follow them and then you found out that, well, they weren't going where they said they were going. They were going to meet, you know, this other person that they're dating. And then you find them and you tell them that you follow them. And then they said, why did you follow me? You're a psycho. You're this. Like, that's gaslighting. Like, no, motherfucker, I've seen enough signs to actually decide to follow you. And then now, if you don't know that people can gaslight you, you will start to blame yourself. Religion uses gaslight to make people feel guilty. That's manipulation at its highest level. Now, everything is your fault. It can never be God's fault. It could never be the religion's fault. Like the religion is always right. You just have to submit and believe things that don't make sense. So obviously, if you know how the hell realm actually works, you'll be like, oh shit, this is I'm being gaslighted here. So I don't really care anymore. Victim shaming is also a real thing. Victim shaming is also a real thing. The real truth is that everyone who was born here is a victim. Because people weren't born here because they wanted to be born here. I think I saw a comment from someone last night. They were saying that, no, how do we know that we didn't choose to be here? And I keep on giving you a very practical example. There's then an example that beats the example that I'm giving you. And that is why I'm saying, to get to the truth, you need to turn to philosophy. You need to think as honestly as possible. You would realize the truth. I'm telling you that it's impossible that we have chosen to be here. And I usually give you this example of the TV series Severance. So it surprises me that people be still, I don't know if they're new to the channel, because the example that I'm giving you is just so damn perfect that shows you that we didn't choose to be here. Even if, and I do tell you this, even if now as Benedictine, even if now I decide that I want to go and live in New York. I want to go and live in New York City. I decide that. If they wiped off my memories completely and I find myself in New York, the vision of me that will be in New York is not the vision of me that decided to go to New York. So I didn't choose to be in New York. I'm gonna be a totally different person. I'm not gonna be believing the things that I believe. I'm not gonna be thinking the way that I think. Maybe it will take time for me to even think the way that I think. Maybe life is gonna be so different that I don't even reach this level of awareness. So I didn't decide. Like, you have to understand that memory is important. Even if I chose to get my memories wiped off completely and I don't remember anything, the vision of me that's not going to have his memories isn't the one who decided. So yeah, we didn't choose this, even if we did. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So you have to understand that everyone is a victim because they found themselves in a world that they didn't choose to be in. The same way that if I kidnap a person and put them in a place, they are a victim in that place. They don't even have to follow the rules. I want you to understand that. That's what is true. They don't have to. They didn't sign a contract that said that they must follow these rules. You see? I didn't sign a contract. I wasn't even given that kind of privilege to sign a contract that says I'm going to follow the law. I didn't sign that contract. I wasn't given a chance to sign a contract that says I'm going to agree with how things work in this world, how things work in my country. If, for example, they said that alcohol was illegal in my country and I wanted to drink, if they arrested me, I would be the victim in that situation. Because I didn't agree that I'm not going to drink alcohol. It's just people who are in power who say that alcohol should be illegal in my country. But I didn't agree that, I didn't agree with that law. I wasn't given a chance to agree with that law. I wasn't given a chance to debate with the authorities about it. They just decided. But of course they will gaslight you, make you feel like you're crazy, even though you are speaking the real truth. You see, if we were all truthful and we were all authentic, bruh, this would be a good place to be. But people are being gaslighted. Those who are in power, they seem to be able to see the truth. That's one thing that I've realized, and I always give you this example. Jordan Peterson and Elon Musk. I don't think these people are dumb. I know some of y'all would think that these people are dumb, but I don't know. I know dumb people when I listen to them, all right? These people are not actually dumb, but it seems as if maybe someone is paying them to say some ignorant shit sometimes. Because there are a lot of people who follow them. I mean, Jordan Peterson, like, he got followers for days and they respect this nigga. I've watched him debate with people who think that it's morally wrong to have children in the modern society. He debated with Benneter. He debated with like people like his audience. Sometimes he'll have this workshop where like his audience will like talk, and I realized that he doesn't make like Jordan Peterson is one person that makes sense, right? But when it comes to some things, he really doesn't make sense, and you'll be like, what if he knows he's wrong, but he's being told by someone who is powerful to say these things, so he's supposed to defend something that he himself does not believe in. Because here's the thing, man, in this world, if people become like beyond, like at their own top, you have to ask yourself how they even get to that level. It's not easy. It's not easy to be on top in a realm like this. It's not easy, bro. To be respected just for speaking, that is not easy. So to get on top, of course, there would have been a lot of things that would have needed to happen for you to actually be on top, and you'll have needed a lot of help. So what if there are people who are like, yo, Jordan, a lot of people listen to you. We want to take you to another level. We'll help you. We'll help you sell your books. We'll help you organize events. We'll give you popularity. But you have to also push this agenda. So, of course, he's going to be gaslighting people who are right. They'll tell him the truth, but because he feels like it's better for him to just be making money, he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna, because he seems to hate it when people say they don't want to have kids. Even if they're not saying that they don't want to have kids for philosophical reasons. If a person just says, I just don't want kids, I just want to enjoy my life, he'll be like, that's stupid. That's stupid. It's stupid to not want to have kids, because if you don't want kids now, you're probably going to want kids. It's like, no, there are a lot of people that I know who don't have kids, who don't regret having kids. In fact, a lot of people regret having, like, there's more people who regret having kids than there is people who regret not having them. Chances are, if you don't want to have kids, chances are you'll never ever regret that. I know I'm never going to regret not wanting kids. Like, there isn't even like the smallest part of me that's like, yo, what if this and like, dude, I don't want kids. Bro, I wouldn't want kids even if I wasn't going to take care of them at all, or even be in their lives. And then when I'm like 60, they come into my life. Like, no, I wouldn't want kids. This is 100% true. I know that beyond any doubt in my mind. So you listen to someone like Elon, you're talking about, yeah, people should be having kids, blah, blah, blah. He knows that the greater threat to society is population collapse. And let me tell you why. He does also realize that people are becoming smarter. Women are becoming smarter too. Because, women used to be controlled a lot in our society. I've spoken to a lot of female internationalists, and you could see that they are free in so many ways. Like, compared to a lot of women, like, they don't feel like they have to make children for men just because a man wants children. Like, they are becoming smarter, like, because it's a lot of work. Like, raising a kid is a lot of work. Like, a lot of women suffer raising children. But then you see these women being gaslighted, especially by men. If a woman says she doesn't want to have children, she'll be gaslighted. Whether she just wants to be child free or she's an internationalist. Like, but then that's bad for her. Like, it's her. We're talking about her stomach here. We're talking about her body here. It's gonna change when she has a child. She's the one who has to go through labor pains. Like, there's a lot that happens, and she puts her life at risk when she has a baby. So if she says, I don't want to go through none of that, and then people be mad, you're like, How can you be mad? And how can you gaslight that person and make them feel like they are bad for not wanting children? It's a baby that's growing up inside someone's stomach. So if a person says, I don't want a child growing inside my stomach, should you gaslight her? Should you make her feel bad because she doesn't want a baby growing inside her stomach? So I think, yeah, the reason why someone like Elon is saying something like that, he's like one of the richest people on earth, and a lot of people respect him, is because maybe he's being told by someone to be saying something like that. That people should be having children. Not everyone is in a good position to be having children, even if they want to have children. We can't say it's a good thing that will bring people here just to suffer, because sometimes you put people in that kind of situation where they will, like, suffering for them is inevitable. So society will gaslight you for actually being right. I remember I saw a post on Facebook about David Bennett's book. Someone shared that book. They didn't really share the book, but they I think they posted about it on Facebook, and a lot of people were making funny comments about it. On the post, it actually said, people who, there's a South African philosopher, his name is David Bennett, who believes that we shouldn't have kids because in this world there's so much suffering. A lot of people were commenting, making fun of him, but you're like, doesn't it make sense? I know that the post didn't really do justice to what he's actually saying, because sometimes when we have been made to think a certain way as a collective, if someone says something against what we believe as a collective, we will think that there's something wrong with them until they actually explain, until we listen to them and be like, that actually makes sense. Like, if you've never watched my videos and then someone told you what I believe, obviously you'll be like, maybe the guy might be crazy, unless maybe you agree with me already. But until you hear me explaining why I believe what I believe or why I think what I think, you might not agree with me at all. But it's also weird to me that a lot of people have never really thought about what it really means to have a child. What is true about having a child is that you are bringing someone into a world without their consent. That is true. That's how it seems, and that's what's original to believe. Let's not even talk about you existing somewhere before you come here, or you even making a choice. Like, it's more rational to just think that no one chose to be here, meaning that no vision of you chose to be here. What we're seeing in our direct experience is people being born. We didn't ask to be born. People being, forced to do things that they didn't say they wanted to do, being forced to abide by the laws that they didn't say they want to follow. That's what we're seeing happening. If you're born in a country where psychedelics are illegal, you can get arrested for using them, even if it's for spiritual reasons. They can just decide that, oh no, that's illegal, so you must be arrested, you must be punished. So it sucks that a lot of people who are right are being gaslighted in our society, and people who are wrong, they're not being gaslighted. You see people who are not successful in this world, they are being shamed for not being able to reach success, as if we do not live in a world where not everyone can succeed. There isn't enough for everyone. It will be like, I remember I gave you this example, like when I was still in high school, they gave us apples. At least they will give us enough apples and people will fight for those apples. You find that one kid who's like a bully in class, everyone is afraid of him, he got like 10 apples. So it means that 10 kids are not going to have apples. But it's supposed to be a fair process. You know, in white schools, I don't think that's how it works. I think they just be giving them one, and if there are some apples left, then they're going to give them more. But in our high school, we had to fight for that shit. Like we're monkeys. It was so stupid, man. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't fight anymore. I was like, but this is retarded. Because teachers are supposed to be the ones who control everything. Make sure that people are getting enough food. Because it sucks. You have to know that not every kid is going to want to fight for food. You know, some kids were raised right. They don't want to fight for food. They're not going to look at, they're not going to go that low. But let's say they didn't give us enough apples. They gave, let's say the students was like 60 students in one class and they brought 40 apples. Should we blame the kids that do not get the apples? I mean, if we blame them, that's victim shaming. It's like, not everyone can get, like, no matter what, because there isn't enough apples, so not everyone can get the apples, right? So in this world, not everyone can succeed because there isn't enough for everyone. We've created a system that allows some people to, like, the rich to get richer and the poor to remain poor. Think about your own life. Like, if you were born in a poor family, like, what could you have done to actually make your life better? Like, it would have really revolved around luck. Like, your success would have revolved around luck. Like, you should have actually been lucky to make it. So, of course, someone will be lucky. You could be born in a village where you don't have much. No, everyone doesn't have shit. But then you succeed. Of course, someone has to succeed in your village and you were the lucky one. It doesn't mean that you're better than those who didn't succeed. You were just the lucky one. We create a system that actually give people what they want based on luck than anything. So you can't blame those who are unsuccessful in this world. It's like, if you look at what used to go on in the projects in the US, find out like someone was born in the project where there are people who are selling illegal stuff in the street just to survive. So this person doesn't have a father. The mother doesn't have a job. Like, everything is messed up. When they go to school, they don't even have money for lunch. What do you expect? Do you truly expect that person to be like a person who was born in a suburb where they have everything? Like, do you honestly expect that person to actually do things the way that the person who was born in a suburb where everything do things? I remember there's this song by Lil Wayne. It's called Misunderstood. It's from the Cara 3. Cara 3 is, I mean, Lil Wayne's best album. He was talking about the reason why he sells crack is because he was born in the hood. We don't have the shit that you have. Like, I think he was talking about someone who grew up in a suburb who had everything, and he's like, but we don't have what you have. This is how we make a living out here. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but we also have to understand something about morals. That some people are privileged enough to have what they want without having to do things that are wrong. But not everyone is that privileged. Like, if I was born in a good family where my father and mother are doing everything for me, and then there's this kid who was born in a poor family, no one is doing shit for them, and then they still, do I really have the right to say you're wrong? Think about it. That person doesn't have what I have. I'm getting what I want without having to do what they're doing. So that person is actually a victim. I'm just too dumb to realize that. And I look at myself as the good guy. I remember I gave you this example about this lady that I know. She's a Christian, real Christian. I'm talking about like real Christian. She was born in a good family. So I had a conversation with her, it was last year, about prostitution, right? She was blaming this other girl for being a prostitute. And I was like, do you know that that girl doesn't have parents? Do you know how that girl grew up? Do you know that, listen, if you have a problem, you can call your parents. I think her father is a doctor and her mother is a nurse or something like that. Like, you can call your parents, like, oh, I don't have money for food. My phone got stolen, I need a new phone. That girl doesn't have that privilege. You have to understand that. And you're judging her. Really? Does that make sense? That's victim blaming. We have to understand how hard life is. You think women want to be prostitutes? You know how women feel about sex? They want to have sex with men that they want to have sex with. I mean, yeah, there's some women who just don't care. It's just fine. I don't judge them at all. We are different at the end of the day. Sex is just sex. I don't look at sex as something taboo or anything like that. But if most of the time, if a woman has to maybe date for money, she's going against her own morals. But she looked at the situation, like, and if you watch the movie Set It Off, it was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. The character that Jaden Smith was playing, she dated this guy who had money, and she will have sex with him because she wanted to pay for her brother's tuition fees. She didn't have another option. She wanted what's best for her brother. If she had another option, then she would have taken that option. So sometimes people are in situations where they are victims for real, and then we shame them for being victims without understanding their story, without understanding what they've been through in their own lives, without understanding the kind of traumas that they're dealing with, without understanding how limited they are. You look at your own life, you're like, I'll never do that. Yeah, maybe because you will never ever have to do that. You would never ever have to be in a situation where you would need to do that. But yeah, there is no integrity in this realm that we've found ourselves in. There is no authenticity in this realm that we've found ourselves in. And that's one of the biggest problems. People don't know how to be truthful. They don't know how to access the highest truth. They don't know how to understand things that are not easy to understand. I think I got 2 topics that I'll need to talk about. If you want me to talk about a topic, tell me. Even if you've suggested a topic before, it doesn't matter. You can tell me, because I want it to be like this. Like, I want to always have a topic that I talk about for my audience. I think that's good. So I've got 2 topics. What's fun is that I couldn't remember the second topic that I got. It's hard to remember. I was like, okay, because today I actually want to record 2 videos, but we'll see if I get enough time and publish them. Like, because I have another topic that I want to talk about. So I'm like, if I do get enough time, I'm gonna record 2 videos. But yeah, I couldn't remember the second topic, and I stopped thinking about it, and then I remembered. And it also tells you something about life. It's like, if you want something, maybe you mustn't think a lot about it. You mustn't chase it like that. You must know what you want. Like, hey, this is what I want, but then not think a lot about it. You kind of like push it away. Like, if I tried to remember the topic, I probably would not have remembered. But I just decided to let it go, and then the topic came back on its own, and I was like, damn, how did I remember that? Like, it's crazy how it works, man. It's like if you lost something in your room and you don't know where it is, Like you don't know where it is at all, and you're like, you know what? Let me just focus on other things. You're probably gonna find it, and you find that it was not even hidden. And you're like, what? So it was there all along, but I couldn't find it when it actually mattered. It's crazy. So someone said that I must talk about how to get through life knowing what we know, like knowing that this is a hell realm. Because a lot of people who are able to go on in life, these are people who believe that they are having a positive experience, right? Like we're not in a hell realm, we're not in a prison. You know, this is all good. Like this is we need to be here. This is, maybe we're here to learn. We're here for our own growth, but this is a blessing. You know, if you look at life that way, it's much easier for you to go on, right? Even if you're going through difficult challenges, if you believe that, it's much easier for you to go on. So how do you go on if you believe you're in hell? Because it seems like if you are in hell, the best option is for you to leave, right? That's how it seems. So how do you cope? Now I'll say to you that you must look at where you are, and when it comes to like consciousness, like the level of consciousness that you're operating on, look at that as an achievement, to have been able to see through the illusion, because that's not easy. That's not supposed to be possible. You can see that a lot of people are delusional here, right? A lot of people are not thinking the way that they should be thinking. But you're operating at a very high level of awareness. That should keep you going. That, damn, I'm doing something right to actually be able to be operating at this level of consciousness. I'm actually doing something right. And that means that I can set myself free. Just like I keep on telling you guys that I think we need to set ourselves free while we're still here. You mustn't be like, okay, I'm going to set myself free once I find myself outside of this. No. When you're still in it, there's the time for you to learn. There's the time for you to grow. There's the time for you to actually like reach high levels of consciousness. Because we don't know what we're going to face next. It's not like we know things are going to be easy, you know, after this. Like, we don't know. So if you prepare your mind the right way, you'll be ready for anything. So look at it that way, that you are trying to prepare yourself for whatever is next. Because you want to set yourself free. You don't know how to set yourself free. So you're trying to prepare yourself for that, like for your own freedom. So if you're doing the right kind of work, that should keep you going. It'll be like if you were trying to achieve something and you're working on it and you are doing the right kind of work, that should be your motivation, that hey, I'm getting there. If you're trying to build a house, you put a brick, you put another brick, you put when you see that the house like you're putting more and more bricks, so obviously like the project is going to end at some point. You can see the progress. That should keep you going. So you can see that there's a lot that you're learning. Not really because this realm was created for us to learn, but because you are rebellious. You see, you're not living the way that the people who believe in this matrix live. So you are reaching high levels of consciousness. So look at it that way. That, you know, let me ask you this simple question. If you have decided to exit 3 years ago, would you have reached this level of consciousness? Like if you compare yourself to the vision of you in 2013, would you say you have not grown at all? You're the same person that you were. You were. Oh, there's growth. So shouldn't that keep you going, knowing that you are growing and reaching high levels of consciousness every day? It's not like you are loving this realm and you're becoming more trapped. No, the opposite is what's happening. If I died in 2018, trust me, wherever I will be, I'll be dumb as fuck. because I wouldn't have been able to reach this level of consciousness. But because I fought through the pain and decided to keep on fighting and fighting and fighting, I was able to reach high levels of consciousness. So yeah, that's what will keep you going. The fact that you are growing, you are reaching high levels of consciousness every day. That shouldn't discourage you. That shouldn't make you feel like it's over. Because the real problem is that we are unconscious. Like, we're not as conscious as we should be. So if you are becoming more and more conscious, that means you're doing the right thing. The real problem is that we don't know. We're in a state of oblivion. But if you are starting to know, if you're starting to understand, based on what you're seeing, based on the science, there's a reason why I don't just make videos talking about how bad things are in the world. I also try to talk about what seem to be unknowable. I try to figure out what consciousness is, why we experience synchronicities, what dreams are. Are we in a simulation? You know what I mean? Like, that's trying to understand reality. That's also very important, because knowledge is power. Real knowledge is power. Knowing is important. If you don't know shit, you can be lied to, you can be manipulated, you can be controlled. But if you know, you become powerful. Like, you automatically become powerful. It's the one who knows who's powerful. If you are ignorant, trust me, you are truly powerless. So the one who knows can manipulate you. The one who knows will be like a magician, basically. Like, they can perform different tricks, and you won't be able to figure out how they're performing these tricks because they know and you don't. You see? Magic is magic except to the magician. So the one who's performing magic, that's not magic to them. It's the one who's watching, who's like, yo, that's magic. So you can't really manipulate a person who knows. If I know how a trick is performed, that's not going to be magic to me. So if I'm the magician who knows how I'm performing my trick, that's not magic to me. But it's magic to those who don't know how the trick is performed. So knowledge is power. That's why you must be focusing on knowing things. You must be focusing on understanding things. This ignorance is bliss statement is crap. It's not bliss, bro. Maybe for now, but are you growing? Or are you going to be an NPC in your next life? Because you're not growing at all. You're busy saying ignorance is bliss, so I must not learn anything. I must not open my third eye, whatever. It's just metaphorical. But I must not know anything because ignorance is bliss. No, ignorance isn't bliss. Ignorance puts you at a disadvantage. So if you are reaching high levels of consciousness, you're doing the right thing, even if it's painful. Sometimes doing the right thing is painful. Like, doing the right thing is the hardest thing to do sometimes. It's not supposed to be easy. So thanks for that suggestion. So another topic, this is the topic that I actually forgot. And that I thought I wouldn't be able to remember, but it just came back on its own. Someone asked me to talk about if, like, it's better to be delusional if being delusional leads to success. Because you can know the truth, but you find that the truth leads to failure. I know a lot of people who are ignorant as fuck. But who are very successful. There's this line by King Laws from his latest LA Lakers freestyle, one of the best. So he said, my delusion got me outside the hood. So at this point, using logic is absurd. But there's something that King Los is not realizing. He was losing logic. He was a dope rapper. One of the best. Like, his penmanship is insane. Dude can write. I still haven't had a rapper that impressed me like he has when it comes to penmanship. Dude can write. Like, he got bars. So it wasn't a delusion. He just didn't believe in himself enough. He just didn't recognize what he had, because there ain't a lot of people who have what he had. So using logic isn't absurd. The problem, and this is the real problem that I've noticed with a lot of people who are operating at a high level of consciousness, they've been through so much that they don't have confidence. Meaning that you are probably way better than you think you are, but because you've suffered a lot, you do not have the motivation to do anything. So you think that those who are delusional are better, or delusion is better, because they're taking action. They're not as traumatized as you are. You have seen a lot because of your level of consciousness. So that's the problem. So using, like, being delusional isn't best. You can still use logic and actually like reach real success in this realm, but you must know that you're traumatized. So you must know that maybe you give up too damn easily compared to other people. You must know that about yourself. I've given you this example in one of the videos that I published. Maybe I published a video like 4 days ago. I was looking for a place to stay in Pretoria, and I wanted to give up because I couldn't find a place to stay. And I called my dad's friend, and he was like, no, you can't give up. You're a man now. You have to rely on yourself now. And I decided that, you know what, let me listen to him. Kept on looking for a place, and I found it. So I realized that about myself, that maybe sometimes I give up too easily. So if I give up too easily, and I know that I give up too easily sometimes, that means that if I feel like giving up, I must continue, because I know that about myself. You see? So that's still logic. That's not a delusion, that's logic. Know that some people might try a bit harder compared to you because of the pain that you've experienced, because of lack of faith. So you must know that about yourself, that okay, I don't have faith. So I wouldn't say it's okay to be delusional, even if it leads you to success. I would say what is okay is to use logic that's gonna lead you to success. You see? Because you are trapping yourself more in the matrix when you're delusional. If you are telling yourself that, oh, Christ is gonna help me and get what I want, and you have this faith and you keep on going because of this faith that you have, and then you win, but remember, you're in a trap. But if you are like, but in this world, to get what you want, maybe you need to push a bit harder. Maybe you have to go further than everyone. That's logic. And then you do that, and then you win. You see? I remember I gave you this example that when I got my internship in 2016, I didn't have any certificate, and they needed us to have certificate. I had passed all my subjects, but because I'm a very I'm a very disorganized person, I lost all of them. I didn't know where they were. So I lost all of them. And for them to make the new ones, it would take months. You know, like if I applied for a new certificate, it would take maybe 3 or 4 months. So they told me that, hey, without a certificate, we don't know if you passed. We need your certificate, and it's not just us who need your certificate, it's those who are going to be paying you. So everyone else who was called, they got the internship except me. I remember I went to Park Station in Johannesburg. It's far from where I was supposed to be working. I sat in the toilet and I was like, man, fuck that shit, I'm going back. I didn't pray to know Jesus. I didn't pray to any, you know what I mean? I didn't believe in anything that's, like I wasn't delusional. I just went back like, yo, sometimes talking to people is better. It can help. Let me go the fuck back and we'll see what happens. And I spoke to them, explained my situation, and they decided to give me a chance, and it worked out. There was never a point where they questioned me about my certificate. I started working until my contract ended. That's logic. Knowing that people can change their mind. That's logic. It's not a delusion. So logic is more powerful than delusion. You just have to believe in yourself more. Know that it's actually possible for you to actually succeed if you want to succeed in something. So I don't think people should be delusional. I think they should be realistic. And sometimes people think that being realistic is being negative. No, it's not being negative. There are situations where things are possible. So if you're like, it's not possible and I'm just being realistic. No, you're not being realistic, you're being negative. You're showing lack of confidence, basically, in your own skill, in your own abilities. So I use logic. I've succeeded a lot using logic. I don't know if I've ever succeeded, by being delusional. I've been using logic. I know the things that a lot of people think are impossible are actually possible. Like, I can do things that everyone don't believe that I can do. That's not being delusional. I know what's possible based on what I've seen in this realm. If you have a video that you'd like me to talk about, tell me in the comment. Thank you all guys for watching until the end. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Let's keep on growing. Thank you.